Okay, USA turn 8. For what it's worth, even though they won't get to use them next turn, they are going to spend their money. 3 strat bombers, 2 fighters, and 2 infantry. They do have some attacks to make. They will be performing an amphibious landing in northern Italy. And they're bringing in the only 2 units that can reach, which are a tank and a mechanized infantry. They will also be using a cruiser as an offshore shot, and they will be bringing all of the Navy into the water to prevent the Italians from trying to scramble, which would be kind of silly if they did. The only other attack they have, well, no, actually, sorry, they have a couple of attacks over here. They will be sending 1 infantry and 2 artillery into Jehol from Manchuria, and the big Hail Mary play of the game, the only play they have, the super long shot, is they will be taking 7 infantry and 3 tanks on 5 transport ships, and they will be coming into Sea Zone 6A with all but 2 of their transports and all of their or both of their carriers, but they will be leaving 2 planes in the sea zone, and I'll explain why in a sec. So they're going to be coming into 6A. The Japanese, of course, because the Philippines changed hands a couple of times, do have their kamikazes. They're going to use 3 kamikazes on each carrier. The other attacks, they will be sending a tactical bomber from Manchuria, 1, 2, 3, and can land on the carrier. And then the fighter from Siberia, 1, 2, 3, and land on the carrier. And also the strategic bomber from Manchuria, 1, 2, 3. It will have 3 movement left. It can land probably Korea or something like that. Okay, so again, that's the Hail Mary. That's the long bomb. It's probably not going to work, but at this point we have to try it. So we'll give it a shot and see what happens. We'll do the other attacks first, though. Okay, one more attack. Since they don't need to worry about defense, even though it's a long shot, the mech in Shahar will try and take Suiyuan and take out that plane. It's a 1 against the 3, but we don't have to worry about the defense because Japan doesn't have another turn. Forgot about China. China's going to buy 2 infantry and a cavalry, and they do have an attack as well. The 2 infantry and the fighter from Xikang will attack Sichuan just for the heck of it. Okay, battle for Jehol. 2 artillery and an infantry. 1 hit. 1 hit, so that's infantry, infantry. So 2 artillery versus a tank. 1 hit, territory taken, but the tank does take out an artillery piece. So the marine artillery piece takes out the territory. Okay, this is a really dumb attack, and under normal circumstances I wouldn't make it, but it's the end of the game. It's the last turn. They don't have to worry about defense. Maybe they'll get lucky. So 1 mechanized infantry versus 1 tactical bomber. It hit! So if the tac bomber misses, this looks like a genius move. And it did! Oh my god! Okay, so they take a territory back. That might go towards helping a little bit with stuff. Okay, we'll see what happens. Battle for Sichuan, one of the most contested territories in the game. So 2 infantry and a fighter. 2 hits, they only need 1, so territory taken. And the Japanese do not inflict any casualties. Okay, this is the amphibious assault on northern Italy. The Italians have elected not to scramble, mainly due to the fact that the USS Ranger, the USS Wasp with their contingent of 3 fighters, along with the destroyers the USS Nelson, the USS Madison, The USS Dallas and the USS Roe were also in the sea zone. So the transport ships, the SS George Hawley and the SS American Victory, are bringing a tank and mechanized infantry, and the USS Quincy will get an offshore shot. So it's a 1 and 2 threes. All misses. Oh, that's bad. Well, both misses there. Okay, the offshore shots don't happen now. One hit. One hit. This is going to come down to the wire. Let's lose the Italian piece. So it's a 3 versus a 2. Hit. And the Germans miss. So the Americans do take the territory with one tank remaining. Prior to the amphibious landing in Sea Zone 6A, the Japanese have elected to use all 6 of their kamikazes on the 2 aircraft carriers. The 6 boats coming in are the SS Brown Victory, the SS William S. Ladd, the SS Gilbert Stewart, the SS Gus W. Darnell, the SS William Williams, and the 2 carriers being attacked by the kamikazes are the USS Enterprise and the USS Saratoga. So we will roll these separately because we do need to know which carriers get hit. Now remember, they can take a damage and still function. Okay. Okay, are my damage markers ready? Alright, so this is on the Saratoga, which has 3 planes on it. 2 hits, so those planes will die at the end of this turn. So this carrier is going to take 2 damage. And for this one, 1 hit, which means that the planes involved in the attack on Japan can land. So that was rather lucky that the carrier that was damaged the most is the one that the planes didn't have to land on. So we will continue with the amphibious assault. Okay, this is a long shot at best, but they're going to give it a go. Okay, the anti-aircraft is going to get a shot, and they hit one. And let's take the bomber because it only gets the 2 shots at the beginning. Okay, so 7 infantry at 1, 3 tanks at 3, a fighter at 3, and a attack bomber at 4. 4, 6. It's actually not too terrible. So the 3 anti-aircraft and 3 of the infantry are dead. Okay. So we're going to roll 13. Oh, great. 13 infantry. 1 attack bomber and 4 fighters. 3, 8. So that's all the men and 1 tank. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. So we got to keep going though. Okay, it's all but 3 of these. Okay. 1 hit. That's another man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 4 left, so that attack did not succeed. So the Americans did not do what they needed to do. Although, I don't know, the Italy thing might help, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, for form's sake, we'll finish this off. The 4 transports will load up 4 infantry, 2 artillery, 2 tanks, and bring them to Gibraltar. The Chinese fighter will land in Shahar, and the remaining fighters in C-Zone 2 will 1, 2, 3 and land on the slightly damaged carrier now that there's room. The 2 transports will go to C-Zone 5 and drop off their anti-aircraft artillery in Amur just for the hell of it. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, placements. 2 of the new Strat bombers are going to go in Eastern Europe. For the Chinese, 1 cav there, and the 2 infantry in Shahar. Okay. And then in the Pacific side of the board for the Americans, 1 strat and 2 infantry in Alaska, and then 2 fighters in the western United States. Income changes. Americans are going to go up 4 at the expense of the Italians. So that's 52 to 56. And the Italians are going to go down 29 to 25. And then the Chinese are actually going to go up 2, 3, 4 for taking all that territory back. Okay. So that's +4. They go from 5 to 9. The Japanese go from 59 to 55. So they are still in the Japanese Empire column. And I don't think that's going to change. We don't think we can take away that victory point. Okay, so income. China. Sorry, that's wrong. Should be 9 IPCs for China. 6. 9 IPCs for China, not that they're going to get to spend it. And then for the Americans, it's 56 IPCs. They're 10 IPC bonus for building at least 2 units on both sides of the board, and then 5 for the islands, 5 for the Central American ones. So let's do the disposition of forces. Okay. Western U.S., 2 fighters. Alaska, Strat Bomber, Infantry. C-Zone 5, 2 transports. C-Zone 6A, 5 transports. 1 damaged carrier with 1 damaged super carrier with 3 fighters, and 1 doubly damaged super carrier. In Amur, 2 anti-aircraft. In Jahol, an artillery. In Suiyuan, a mechanized infantry. In northern Italy, 1 tank. In C-Zone, whatever this is, 95, I think. 4 destroyers, 1 cruiser. 2 carriers, 1 with 2 fighters and 1 with 1 fighter, and 2 transports. In Gibraltar, 4 infantry, 2 tanks, 2 artillery, and C-Zone 91, 4 transports. In British Guiana, 2 infantry, and in the eastern United States, 2 anti-aircraft, 2 mech, and 2 Strat Bomber. China has a fighter and 2 infantry in Shahar, and then 2 infantry and a cavalry unit in Sichuan. So that's the end of the American turn. The British are up next to see what they can do. They are obviously going to try the Hail Mary on Rome to see what happens there.